Cool. So, since if you take me like being a pre-final year, I see a lot of the students like kind of facing difficulties, deciding what they want to do in the future. So, at what point you both decided that I'm going to pursue hires and not sit for placements? And was there any specific persons or a mentor, as you would say, who inspired or influenced you in certain way to choose this decision? Archana, welcome.
Okay. Yeah. So the thing is, like I previously said, I wasn't really sure that I wasn't really okay with giving up placements because it seemed like a really safe option. So what I primarily did was I sat for placements and I got placed. And then I started applying side by side for abroad universities as well as Indian universities. So one thing that maybe made me choose that, masters is the option that I need to go for is that I spoke to a lot of people who said that even after working, they kind of felt this burnout, which even within the first year. So they want to actually get more specialized in that particular fields. Like personally, my classmates, many people who have worked for 1 or 2 years often say this that it's actually better to study and then go for work rather than, and that kind of struck with me. And many people who are in jobs as well have told me that in order for promotions to, like, they usually prefer a candidate with a master's. So
Mhm.
all these together maybe kind of influenced me towards opting for a master's.
And about you, Sanjana, I heard you didn't sit for placements or such.
No, I did sit for placements. Even I got placed in one of the PSU.
Okay.
Actually, it was not due to a dilemma or something. Deep below from my heart, I wanted to pursue masters, but then my parents asked me to sit for placement, so that's the only thing. That's the only reason why I sat for placements. But then, provided if I couldn't get a scholarship, probably I would have chosen to continue working for like 1 2 years, and then I would have like definitely go for a master's because I thought like bachelor's degree is not really like kind of satisfies the educational aspects. Having a master's degree is always very useful in terms of how people perceive you. With this 2 years of like greater experience, you learn a lot of things. Just like how she said, Archana said, the learning curve is really, really steep. Whatever I didn't do in like 1 whole year, I have been doing those in months. I did say that it is very less, hectic. There is no pressure from any external pressure, but then that's something motivates you to be responsible enough and then get your things done. And speaking about the person who inspired me, I cannot take one or two names because I have been interacting with a lot of people. All the seniors, most of them, they didn't have any constant, reason to stay back, work for the same company that they got placed
Mhm.
into. Everyone is looking to either switch their companies or drop their jobs and then go for a master's. So I thought, like, why shouldn't I just do this in one shot? Let me complete master's and then look for opportunities. I don't really have any kind of pursuing a PhD or something, but then I would definitely go for a job after master's. So
Mhm.
yeah.
And that's powerful and takes a lot of guts and sparks is all that. And building on that, so could you also tell us the thought process that led you to choose a specific field? For example, mechatronics or aerospace doesn't come in one day. And also choosing your respective institutions, for example, IISc and KTH. Achinaka, what do you think?
Okay. So yeah, again, choosing aerospace engineering, it was always like in the back of my mind since my childhood to get into aerospace engineering, but unfortunately in B.Tech, I couldn't get into it. So yeah, again, I felt it was, let's just say, it was just something that I really wanted for a very long time. So after B.Tech, I had the option to, like, uh, people who have chosen their bachelor's in mechanical engineering degree can do a master's in aerospace in like Indian institutes as well. You can change your domain basically. So that when I came to know about that, I thought, why not take the chance and like pursue something that I've wanted to pursue since long.
Mhm.
And regarding IISc, I think, yeah, again, I just wanted to stay in India because again, I didn't want to really get into the visa issues and trying to find a job there. I personally felt it would be really stressful for me in the long run. So I decided to stay back in India and yeah.
Then about your thought?
Yeah, sure. Mechatronics is something not what I thought from the beginning. Once I joined DC, many of my projects were related to like product designing. Even though I was from stream one, I got used to learning stream two as well. So that's how I gradually developed interest into robotics or something related to mechatronics. So I was always looking for programs which either had mechatronics or robotics as one of their tracks or something related to product designing. And since I got a proper program of mechatronics in KTH, I gave it a priority. And moreover, this was like one of the options that came along with the scholarship, so I chose this. And why KTH exactly? That's a really good question. I did apply for like TU Delft, a Belgium university called KU Leuven, and KTH as well as Chalmers. So I kept my options very narrowed down. Um, the only reason why I choose KTH over anything else is because this is one of the country that doesn't, discriminate people. There are like a lot of English speaking jobs. So I think that's a very good choice. And they do not really focus and insist you in learning Spanish or something. They do respect every other culture equally as they respect their own culture. So that's the main reason for choosing KTH as well. Keeping the after effects, how the job opportunities and everything is going to be. So
No, that's true. And so I think this is where the most of the students kind of have most of the doubts. So what if the admission process of joining their institution looks like? And also like we're curious about what exams did you take into go to that level of college? And is there any tips that you could give in on terms of like scholarships or waivers? Or is there any funding that you have received or something to join in, like for example, KTS or something?
So we have prepared a PPT for that. So
Yeah,
maybe
sure.
it will be
So
easier.
obviously, good present at least.
we'll just skim through the slides maybe. I'll share it. Is that fine for you?
Yeah, sure. Take it.
Yeah. I think we all pretty much know about.
Yeah, internship will come later. Yeah, internship will come later.
So this goes like this. I applied to 3 universities and I got into all the 3. Archana applied for like 5 programs. Yeah, moving on to this. I would like briefly tell you how the master's application for abroad looks like this. So first of all, there are like 3 exams. There's an option between IELTS and TOEFL. So basically, IELTS and TOEFL, both of them are for English proficiency. So there are different pros and cons for both of them. Both of them like almost have the same syllabus, similar syllabus, I would say. Why did I choose IELTS over TOEFL is because one thing is European universities prefer this more than TOEFL. TOEFL goes for like USA kind of universities. And then in IELTS, you can give your speaking test to your human examiner. Whereas in TOEFL, it's like a computer-based test. I think it's some AI, I don't know. So that's why I prefer IELTS over TOEFL. And in IELTS, if you score a band above 7, that would be really great. A 7.5 should be your target. I did score a band of 8. So I could apply to almost all the universities without any restrictions. And GRE is basically something which is based on whatever universities you shortlist, because it's optional in a lot of universities if you apply for European universities, and in US as well. It's like optional in many places. Only if you want to avail some scholarship or something, it might add a little weightage to your application. But then GRE is not really mandatory. But then I'm putting a disclaimer over here. It's highly dependent on the universities you choose. So it goes like that. And timeline. Okay, so you have to start like at least 1.5 years, or maybe like 1 year before your. If you're applying for the fall of 2026, you should start from June to August. So first of all, the first thing that's very important is you basically have to narrow down, or if you're just going to pursue a master's in mechanical engineering itself, have some interest, have some, narrow down tracks so that it will be useful for you. You should just basically retrospect your interests, and then also get to know about scholarships as well. So this information is pretty much available in the websites of colleges and all. I will also share a few later. And then comes the next critical part of drafting your SOP. Statement of purpose is very, very important. It goes like a story, starting from why you want to pursue one particular program of that particular university to what would you contribute to the program, how would you learn from them, everything like that. And it gives you, like, you should completely explain all your research experiences and so on. So that's very important. I had like around 10, 15 drafts of my SOP. You keep on iterating the SOPs. It's not just, it doesn't come within one night. You have to like keep writing it, give it to your seniors for reviewing. They might give you some suggestions. After that, choose what all to include from that and what not to. At the end of the day, it's what you decide to put in your SOP. So that's very important. And then at the same time, like you will be in the college, approach professors, ask for LORs. Even it takes a lot of time for for them to upload it into the portal. So few universities ask the professors to upload by themselves, and few universities gives you the liberty of uploading that LORs by ourselves. So that's there. And universities shortlist is something I would like stress upon. Okay, so there's also a huge chunk of application fee that comes with every application. So if you want to be judicious with respect to how you're allocating budget to it, I would say go for like 2, 3 ambitious universities. Like you might have like your dream colleges, dream schools. So just choose like 2 to 3 of them, and then you have to like choose 3 to 4 safe schools, but then you would be like really, really happy to pursue your masters there, those kind of universities. And 2, 3 just to be in very safe positions where you're 100% sure that you would land into. So I basically used one particular thing called as QS ranking, and then I went into I just to have a glance of how the universities are ranked, and then I went that in very deep into their websites, and then got to know about the universities in great detail, like what kind of fields they are renowned for, and so on. That's it. And then it's basically yeah, one more thing that I would like to tell related to scholarship would be there's this thing called early deadline. So there are like rounds of applications. So if you finish your application before early deadline, there are high chances of getting a scholarship. So it goes like this: first come, first serve sort of thing. So once you submit your application, they quickly, evaluate it, and then they just put it in the bins of like yes, no. So if you fall into a yes bin very quickly, that would be great for you. So just why not just apply as soon as possible is the only thing I would like to say. And there are chances that you might be scheduled with interviews with few people, but then I didn't encounter any interviews as such. And then it's just post admission things that you have to do. And for resources, I'll just share this thing to you. Personally, I used Magoosh and GregMath. GregMath for GRE, Magoosh for vocabulary. And once registered for IELTS, they give you a book. So 1 week of preparation for IELTS, like 1 week of proper dedicated preparation for IELTS should be more than enough. So that's like that. And for GRE,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah, just
recommend.
one doubt. Did you use the courses or the resources, just the resources from Abush?
Resources from Agush. And this for GRE, I mean, you can also subscribe to GregMat. GregMat, like 3-4 friends of yours, you can just share one credential. So that might be like a very, very economical way of subscribing to GregMat. So yeah. And then Manhattan 5LB practice book is actually, it looks very overwhelming, but then try to solve it if you're like very much, adamant on getting 320 plus score. I would suggest that it's a very useful resource, but then a very bulky one. So, and if you want, I could like continue with that, or else we might go to like how application process looks for Indian college.
Yeah, I'll just ask this. Like, since you both are from like premium institutes, and just want to know, like, from your perspective, what do you think is the key components that the college look for from the students? Like, is it the criteria of the CGPA or projects or internships or something like that? What do you think is the major criteria?
Archana, could you go on?
Okay, so yeah, I had also applied for a few foreign universities and I've gotten into a few, but in my case, I think they asked for an interview. I gave 2 interviews, one for Cambridge and one for Dartmouth. And I think the interview played a really important role in kind of assessing my application. So because the first initial screening of the application, if you have like 8 plus CG or maximum, let's say 7.5 if you have good projects and decent enough internships and your resume looks good and your SOP is kind of, and if your SOP is above average, they kind of select you for an interview. That's what happened in few of the colleges that I applied for. So in that case, the interview matters a lot. So yeah, in that they would definitely ask like a lot of technical questions, which like, and they would ask from the fundamentals and take you up to the like the difficulty level up to like where you have to actually think, use a pen and paper and solve things. So interview played a very important role. And yeah, I guess if you look for several universities in their website, it would be mentioned that, we'll be calling people for interviews. So I would suggest maybe prepare accordingly because, that I feel that is kind of the only time where people from the admissions team directly interact with you and can directly know from your perspective why do you want to actually be in that college. And regarding IISc as well, we had interview rounds for several departments. In aerospace department also, we are basically made to stand in front of like a board with 5-6 professors, and they would literally ask you any question. You'll have to solve it live on the board, any questions that they ask, and they'll keep on increasing the level of difficulty based on your answer. And if you answer really badly, they'll just send you out. But yeah, again, it's just terrifying to in that case with Indian universities. But regarding foreign universities, it was pretty chill. They do try to understand your level of knowledge in the subject and try to build up on that. And they give a lot of importance to your PORs, which is any position of responsibilities that you have held in your clubs. And if you have done any really good project, and what I would suggest is before such interviews in abroad universities, create a PPT with your projects. So, like, how did you proceed with it? Any challenges that you faced? The experimental setup, you could just take a photo and attach it. And that kind of really helped a lot, especially in my Cambridge interview, because that person, apparently, the interviewer was also working on a similar project. So we kind of just went on talking about that. And I guess that really helps focus on your projects and how it relates to their university and what you plan to do in the university. So if, let's say, you're applying for Dartmouth or any university like that, just try to mention to them what you would do in that university and how would that university help you grow and in your career as well as in your research interests. So, yeah, I would suggest that.
Yeah, Sanjana, do you want to share something?
It's pretty much the same. Also, like if you have any abroad interns or something, that would add really great value to your profile. I would like to talk about like publications as well. If you you know have any good publications, even if they are like conference papers or anything, do not hesitate. Put them in like proper priority. Prioritize them, and then try to get certifications related to the applications you're going to put up. And yeah, as she mentioned, I would like to re-emphasize, have a portfolio where you have mentioned your interests, your major projects, the challenges you faced, and the ways you overcame those. So that would really help you. Unfortunately or fortunately, I never gave any scholarship during, interview during my application process. So I don't have any interesting experience to share as such. But then if you're going to phase one, my best wishes for you all.
Yeah, that was almost terrifying. What Archana said, even like 5 professors standing and asking you random questions. Like, even if international be lab viva, I wouldn't manage to be there. Yeah, like talking about internship, like internship is a total game changer, as we know. Like you guys did several internship in India and even in abroad. So just could you share how these opportunities of interns like help you to shape your profile and your whole career as such?
Yeah,
Archana.
so I did my internship in
Yeah, I think you guys have a slide, I guess, no, for internship.
yeah, I think we can just like share that. Uh, so like I did my internship in IIT Madras Research Park and in Indian Institute of Science. So that kind of whenever I went for an interview, I just kept mentioning that and mentioning the professor under whom I worked. So, and apparently all the professors who took interviews know each other. So that really helped. And regarding my other internships, it kind of lets people know that you are interested in a particular domain. So it would help if you have internships in the same domain, because that will make you seem like, even though if we have done very minimal work, I mean, I personally, I felt the work that I did in IISc was basically just, let's say it was not even related to mechanical, it was related to more electrochemistry, and coincidentally, my FYP was also based on energy related projects, which involved electrochemistry and batteries. So it all kind of came together. And in Research Park, I worked on battery storage models. So let's say by the time I finished all these projects, and if I put together in the form of a resume, it seemed as if, you wouldn't be able to actually plan according to that. But once we look back after preparing a resume, it'll seem like, okay, so this is what I'm good at, and this is what I need to tell the people that I'm good at. So I think selling yourself to the admissions officer or the person who's taking your interview is very important. So, or anyone who's seeing your resume as well, I think they should get the point that you're interested in that particular domain. And it shouldn't be very haphazard, or let's say I did an internship there just for the sake of it, even if it's like a reputed institution. It what you do there and what domain you work on matters a lot. So,
Okay. So being an NITian, I just want to know, like, how much of an advantage does the NIT tag really gives? NIT Trichy tag really gives, and also when applying for universities in premier institutes in India and also internationally, like, is there any advantage of being an NITian? Is any NIT Trichy tag really gives an advantage?
Yeah, starting off with your SOP, you can always brag about the NIRF rank that we have earned. So yeah, you can always tell that that I come from a university which is ranked 9th overall in Indian engineering ranks and so on. People do give a lot of importance to that because it's like top 10 university of India, and you always have an upper hand. I would like explicitly say that. And also, like, this helps you gain some sort of respect and recognition amongst your batchmates. even if like come abroad, people have heard about like universities like Indian Institute of Technologies and National Institute of Technologies apparently. So I never expected this kind of acknowledgement from people of different countries, but then they do know. So yeah, it always plays a very important role. Do not forget to add that. So when you have something, why not brag about it?
So, and you,
So I have included that in one of the slides that we had done. So
it's say the slide and make you remember it. So you guys taking the slides?
Which slide exactly are you
yes,
talking
yes.
about?
The one with the masters in India, I think.
Maybe it didn't get downloaded for me.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll share that. No
Okay.
issues.
Wait, I will get it.
Is this visible?
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sanjana, do you want to maybe talk? Okay. Do you want to talk about the slide or should we?
You can share yours and then maybe I'll share mine.
Yes, works.
Yeah.
So this is kind of all the information that I could collect on like the master's application process in India. So you basically write, you have three modes of entry into any premier institute in India for masters. So the first one is GATE. And yeah, regarding for mechanical specifically, you can write three papers, ME, AE, and XE. And in XE, which is also known as engineering sciences paper, you can choose any two domains. So I chose fluid mechanics and thermodynamics. The other options are material science and strength of materials. So you can choose your strong suit, and but the issue is that the paper will be difficult. Whereas in mechanical engineering, the level of questions will be kind of easier as compared to, let's say, engineering sciences. And aerospace, if anyone is really particular about taking aerospace in your masters in Indian universities, I would highly suggest this paper because it has very less competition. So out of 100, even if you score like 30 to 40 marks, you'll get like 3-digit rank, which is actually very great because 20 marks is essentially aptitude and 20 marks is max. So if you just nail that without even knowing aerospace, you can actually get into that. So yeah, that's it about GATE. And I just want to mention that even if you write any of the three, you can write any two out of the three papers. And even if you write mechanical, you could get into aerospace and vice versa. So like, and there are a lot of other options. You could get into energy, or you could get into like even data science for that matter. So yeah, just maybe I would suggest everyone to try to write in at least two of the papers. And the second mode of entry is CFTI mode, which is centrally funded technical institutes. So the thing is that NIT comes under CFTI. So we can get direct admission into IISc and several IITs without GATE. But one constraint is that we need to have 8+ CG. And mandatorily, interview will be conducted, and there will be no stipend. Like I mentioned before, that you won't be receiving that 12.5K. And IIT JAM is just for IITs, and I've given the timeline, so I guess it's self-explanatory. And yeah, but one thing I would like to mention here is there is no like JOSA counseling kind of thing. You need to apply for each and every institute. Let's say if I want in IIT Madras, I need to apply specifically for IIT Madras. And if it's Bombay, I need to apply for Bombay. And IISc, it's like specific different applications rather than a common one that we did in JOSA after JEE. So that's there. And resources, you can get into YouTube channels like Gatewala and Academy. This is just standard. And books, I would highly recommend the handbook, which you can order somewhere. And yes, so the master courses in India, like we can divide it into three: M.Tech coursework, uh, direct PhD, like M.Tech research and direct PhD. So like you had mentioned the NIT tag, that's like here's where it comes to play, because like you can directly get in without a gate. So yeah, regarding the master's courses, I just want to mention that like you have three options. The M.Tech is kind of what you would always expect a master's in India to be. We'll have 12 mandatory courses and a final project, and it's basically for placements. Let's just say that. And M.Tech research is kind of analogous to MS that you have abroad. But the issue is that the duration is from 2.5 years to 3 years, and if your supervisor is like not very good, it might get screwed. You might like go up to 4 years without actually getting your degree. So, but one advantage of that is you'll have a lot of publications, and if you go through M research, and that would really help. And yeah, you get the same stipend basically, and the mandatory courses is lesser, but the research thesis is like a bit more comprehensive than what you do in M.Tech. And the focus is kind of research centric. And even though they do have placements, it's not very as popular as what you would get in M.Tech. And direct PhD, I think a few people did ask me if about this option. So you can do a direct PhD after B.Tech, and yeah, you can actually get into this without gate, only through like having studied in NIT. So it's like up to 6 years, and you'll get a monthly stipend, and you'll kind of get free everything, accommodation, food, and all that. So you need to do 8 courses and a PhD thesis, and it's really long. So if anyone's interested, good luck with that. So yeah.
That was helpful and informative. And so another important thing I would now, if I think about it, like what do you think which stops the NIT students back from choosing or succeeding in higher studies path? Why they refuse or feel sort of hesitation to go for that path? Sanjana Kapoor.
Yeah, maybe the kind of situation we are put into in second and third year, people might, start hating what we are studying. But it's not like that. It's very different. The way we are used to studying in B.Tech, it's not like that. It's very different in masters. Especially if you get into renowned institutions, you will actually get the knack of studying this very good subjects. So that's something like that. Just try to give it a try for yourself. Why to settle so soon? These are the years to explore. So better do not like settle down. I'm like not propaganding masters. I'm not a student ambassador of any university. But then yeah, personally I feel like why should I like take up a job, go for a 9 to 5, and then work hard from Monday to Friday and then put myself into rest for the weekend? No, I want to do something different. That's what motivated me throughout the application process, and that's kind of something that motivated me to come far away from my comfort zone as well. So it's like that. Like if you want to take an industrial experience, no one is saying a no to you. You can definitely go for that for like 1 2 hours. But then if you know that you're going to get bored by that, just complete masters right after your bachelor's. Something like that. Yeah. Mhm.
And Archana, like what would you say to this? Like what is
No, I
stopping
guess
NIT students?
she said everything almost, but what I would say is maybe people don't really know about people who have gone for masters. They feel like several universities are out of reach, especially abroad universities. And personally, I didn't know anyone who, let's say, went to MIT or Caltech or something during my college. Like when I was in college, I didn't know any such people, and like even though they had like really high CG, like 9.7, 9.8, so that kind of scared me from, let's say I didn't want to like get rejection mails after mails, and then I know my confidence would be broken. So I didn't want that. But even then I tried to kind of push myself and think, it's fine if that happens. I just want to shoot my shot. And so I did that. And it's surprising that like the acceptance rate for many abroad colleges for masters is very, very high. So if you put enough hard work into the application, you would actually get into like almost every university that you apply to, despite your CG. So like it's equal weightage for everything, and they really look at your application from a holistic point of view. So I would suggest just take a shot at it if you really feel like. So that's it.
Cool. Just now I was thinking just a basic question like, okay, the students here at NITT are doing like B.Tech and they're going for jobs or placements, and say they're doing for masters and then going for jobs and placements. What advantage does that give more than this? Like after B.Tech, why not choose a job? Why do you do masters and then go for a particular jobs or placement? It's so basic, but I just want to clarify this to everyone. Like, what do you think is the most important factor?
Can you like come again? I didn't get you.
Yeah, so since you guys did B.Tech, why do
Mhm.
masters and then go for any particular job or something? Why not after B.Tech you could go for a job? What is the advantage of doing the masters?
Basically, I think like B.Tech knowledge, yeah, even if it adds up a lot of knowledge to you, but then that's not really sufficient to look at the things. Mm, Basically, masters gives you a different perspective to look at the things. You directly have a high chance of like working for a few months and then moving on to a managerial role or something. But then right after B.Tech, you're very naive for a particular role. You have to get trained, and then I think once you get into a job, you are given training to only one particular role. Not really an intensive role, not really an intensive training in different domains. So if you like want to explore domains in very detail, masters is the only way to do that. So it like adds 2 more years of your student life, lets you explore more, lets you fail more and learn more. So that's the reason why
So
both of
mostly
us
it
have
is
chosen.
because of for the gaining knowledge of a particular
Mhm,
subject or a field.
mhm, mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. For me personally, yes, yes.
Cool. And yeah, so I think what's the time? Yeah, I think we are up to the time, and finally, I just want to ask you guys, like, what advice you would give to the current NIT students who are at the dilemma stage? As the name suggests, destroy dilemma. How would you destroy their dilemmas into like choosing this intermediate thought? There are two different schools of thought, like internships or sorry, placements or internships, and there is masters and higher studies. So how would you destroy their dilemma and choose what they're interested in? What advice would you give for the students?
Sanjana, do you want to start first? Because maybe, I still kind of had that dilemma until the past 6 months. So maybe you would be able to give a better answer.
Sure. I would suggest, um, first of all, the only reason, like as Archana said, I would like to like emphasize on that. Do not ever think that CG plays a very important role only if I have like 8.5 plus, 9 plus, I am a studious guy or girl. So only then they will like prioritize, at least look at my application. No, there is nothing like that. Everything matters very important. Like everything has their own weightage. And then I would say like if you do not have very high CG, your SOPs, your LORs, your PORs, your entrance exam scores, everything plays very crucial role. So never ever become your own admission officer. Don't judge your fate yourself. Don't do that. Give shots to like few universities as well as like I would suggest if you have if you have MIT, Carnegie Mellon University or anything in your mind, there's no harm in filling out an application for that. Who knows, you might be the next graduate from there. So do that. And then if you're still in a dilemma of like, getting into a job or not, I would not explicitly suggest you to do that, but then I did it personally. I did sit for placements as well as I applied for abroad universities. Because I didn't really get LORs from my professors. I took most of them from internship professors. I know that you can either do this or that, but then since I didn't get LORs here, I didn't really have any admin side pressure of NOC producing NOC and stuff like that. So yeah, you can definitely do that. Try speaking to a lot of seniors, because seniors have already been in your shoes. They have taken their decisions based on something that they analyzed. So speak to as much as seniors you want. Feel free to reach out to us, to reach out to our seniors, even seniors from previous batches. So never hesitate to reach out to someone if it would either be a life-changing advice or a no to your request. So never ever hesitate, because everyone will respond to you. That's for sure. So whatever doubts it may be, don't categorize them as silly questions or something. These are opportunities. Like attend as many sessions that is conducted by people. Shoot questions. Just drop a DM. Just ask like, why did you get into this particular university? Why not this? Why did you choose Europe over US? Why US over Europe? And you can also get to know about how the situation after masters is. So there are a lot of opportunities. Also, yeah, I would suggest this, not just alumni, but also give as much as possible those connection requests in LinkedIn. So if you, for example, choose a university X, look for people who have pursued your courses. I have done that because I was it was very tough for me to choose just 3 to 4 universities out of 10, 15 universities I shortlisted. So I, without any hesitance, I just gave in LinkedIn requests, and then I asked people if this is a good choice. If it's not, I explained what my situation is, and then to my surprise, to my great surprise, people who have never met you are really, really helpful as well. So they will give you a good advice, hopefully. So yeah, these are few things I would like to tell.
Okay.
And Archana,
Yeah,
if you
I
have
think-
something to add.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I think it's just what she said. I think I got a lot of opportunities and a lot of insights from connecting with people on LinkedIn. So yeah, I would suggest do that and cold mail as much as possible.
Yeah, I think now it's time for the Q&A session. So if the audiences like want to ask any questions, they can put it in chats.
Okay. So what about production paper in GATE, and is it worth to take that exam? So yeah, it is. If you want to get into like supply chain or so there's this smart manufacturing courses in IISc and IITs, and production engineering masters as well. So if that's your aim, it's a good paper to take. And again, the competition there is very, very low. But the issue with that paper is like your options of taking other streams in masters kind of gets low. So you can't take energy systems after taking production, or you can't take aeronautical after writing a production paper in GATE. So just make sure. And the problem is they keep changing this eligible GATE papers for a particular stream every year, and even every 6 months. So I suggest you first maybe look into the eligible GATE papers for the courses that you want to apply to, and then and then take up the exam later.
There's a previous question about what resources, websites would you recommend for, okay, preparing statement of purpose? Yeah. I would say like there are Medium articles which gives you really insight on how to structure your statement of purpose. Few universities expect you to give very professional statement of purpose. They do not want you to start with some childhood incident or something. They would expect you to give something like logical and practical definition of why you chose particular program and what particularly interested you about that. So I would suggest you to go through this Medium articles. If I find few, I'll just share it to you, and then maybe he can like publicize it. That is one kind of thing. And then there are I would like to put up one more thing. There are like actually consultancies which can do these jobs for you. They might guide you throughout the application process and all. But I personally felt that if you're like responsible and obedient enough to do your job done, I would not recommend you to go for this enrolling into consultancies, but it's up to you. I can even recommend few. So yeah, there are a few like Gradvine and all. They can even write SOPs for you, but then I think like you might be the best person to portray yourself. You know who you are. So yeah. And then do not hesitate to write multiple versions of it, because each university, each one different kind, people of different kind, people of different nationality have different perspectives. So you have to tweak your statement of purpose with respect to them. US expects one kind of personal statement, Europe expects the other. So look, you can even ask people to send their SOPs if you want some insights. So yeah.
I think there is one more question, I guess.
I think it's same both by Harishwaran as well as Ashok.
Cool. Like how was the transition from India to abroad or staying in India? Like, no, I think basically they're asking how was the transition since you have been in India from the childhood? How was the transition from India to go to abroad and adapting to that routine for the daily routine as such?
Yeah,
How does it
that is very different. Um, Come experience by yourself, I would say. It is very difficult. Like for 1-2 weeks, it will be very hard to get used to all these things. Even starting from the visa process to like packing your luggage, keeping it within the limit, everything is very different, very difficult as well. But yeah, worth it actually. Yeah, you have to get accustomed to this weather. In during nights it goes till 1 degrees, 2 degrees. Yesterday also it was like that. So yeah, it's pretty much different, but then get adapted to it.
I think, and the next question is like, if you could go back to your first year at NIT Trichy, what one thing that you would change basically to prepare for your higher studies? Like, is there any not regret? I wouldn't say regret, but is there some feeling right that I could do something, I could have done something better, so I could have been something else or something? Is there something, first of all?
So
Yeah.
I would say that maybe the issue is I had very low attendance in most of the classes. So I kind of had issues with like several professors. So I couldn't go and ask them for LOR, which became this awkward situation where one professor actually asked me, "Were you in my class?" actually. So that kind of incidents. So I would maybe go to first year and attend all the classes and kind of make sure that I'm in the good light of like several professors so that I could get easier LORs. That's the thing.
I think there's another question. Like, could you please tell what was the process to get the foreign internships? Like, you did DART-wise, right? Sanjana, you did DART-wise internship actually. Yeah, like, what is the process? What was the process?
Okay. So for that advice, actually, but yeah, I would say put a precautionary thing. The advice as well as my tax, everything has stopped now, funding. So not really any useful information for you, but then go for like Chartpak. ThinkSwiss is there, and then US has this Viterbi program. So universities have their own internship programs in US, and then in US you have these options. Also, yeah, for masters you can try Erasmus scholarships, and if you want me to focus on Dartways itself, it was basically cold mailing professors, get their approval, and then fill out huge application form. Again, it had very similar process of how master's application is: SOP, LORs, um, proposal of your internship, what to say, aim and all. And then few people had interviews to get into Dartway scholarship. So Dartways actually just bridges you between professor and you. It gives you the funding to support your travel, living costs, and then you can save a lot of money as well. So yeah, it's like that. So pretty much, yeah. If you would like me to explain any few things in detail, I could do that. Sure.
No, like, I mean, it was helpful. I think they were expecting a vague answer to the question. So I think, yeah, I think 6:15, near 6:15, I think. No, what's the time there? It's like I don't know,
243.
2:43, okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'd just like to thank you so much for sharing your experiences, advices, and also for the energy to keep this session so interactive. And you truly helped, like to destroy the dilemma for the students. And also, whether just advice for me for hearing them to the students is that to choosing your path, you have to forge your own way. Others can help, but with that idea, you have to forge your own way. And yeah, that's it. I think thanks for joining us at MEA's Destroy the Dilemma. This is signing off. This is Miru. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the
Thank you.
opportunity. Yeah, and always feel free to get in touch with us. Like you're just one DM away, and we'll be more than happy to guide you throughout.
Sure.
Yes, thanks a
Thank you.
lot for the opportunity.
So I think, yeah, if you guys have any questions, just ask quickly in the chats. Otherwise, just can leave from the guys.